Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Lifestyle Aesthetics, where we teach you how to level up consistently over time. So, in this video, we are going to be working out completely on the lower body, starting with Romanian deadlift. So, I used to do these more frequently, but now I want to give my lower back a rest. And you do want to be careful when you do this movement because you don't want to pinch anything on your back. This works out the hamstrings, the glutes a little bit, the core as well. As you could see, I'm doing this with the bar at 225 pounds. And when I'm holding the grip, I am doing on opposite hands because this is easier for me. Other people like to use the underhand grip. Others like to use pronated grip. But I like to mix it up with one hand facing the opposite from the other. I do two sets of 225 and then I jump down to 135. I'm trying to make sure that I am doing this in a controlled way. Trying to make sure that I hinge at the back, basically with like your butt is sticking out. This is good exercise for the lower body. It's kind of like a functional movement when you pick up heavy stuff from the ground, right? First time doing this was quite humbling. I struggled with 135. We all pretty much hate doing this. Well, maybe some don't, but I have a love and hate relationship with this. I honestly like doing machines better for legs. Here, trying to attempt to do a deadlift. Not too much weight though. I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. But honestly, it feels a little bit awkward. But it's a good lower body and back movement. I do want to take another day to do rack pulls, and I will show you guys what that's all about. A little bit more safe compared to the traditional deadlift. As you could see, trying to pull with my back, using my legs as well. Um, don't bend too far back, I guess, when you are holding it straight, because then you might hurt yourself. Making sure that you're picking it from the ground as you go all the way up for the traditional deadlift. It's good quad and glute movement. It provides carryover with other things that you do that applies to real life movements. So taking off the 25 pounds to do them with 135 pounds for these type of deadlifts, right? So kind of a short guy. I like to put the rack itself at the very end, so at the, I guess, level 17. I wish they had some that were a little bit shorter than that, but you work with what you've got. Trying to do these kind of like continuous, but then you have to remember that you're starting off from the floor because then it would feel like you're doing a Romanian deadlift. So I feel like these are easier. Obviously, when you go down with the weight, helps you with doing better form because now you're not stressed out about carrying so much weight from the floor. From here, doing another set, trying to make sure that I keep my back straight as I'm doing this when you go down. Because if you're too hunched over, it's not good. It's not helpful. You want to be mindful that you want to take care of your body when you do these movements, when you are at the gym. You don't want to hurt yourself, and that's going to delay all your gains if you do. And then, you probably get bored of being able to work out. So, calves for me is like the hardest muscle group to grow. It doesn't matter how much weight I do, what rep sets. I'm trying to be mindful that I always work out my calves. So, I'm holding it, like opposite hand grips, doing 10 as much as I can. So, I'm doing this with the 225, trying to do 10. And then now that the weight has been dropped off to 135 pounds, I'm able to do a little bit slower. Honestly, the calf machines that they have in the gym, a little bit better, but I also noticed that people love using those. So again, working with what we have. Barbell calf raises actually opened my mind to all these different possibilities of trying to grow my calves and doing trap shrugs with the barbell, shoulder shrugs. It actually improved my trap muscles. I used to do it with dumbbells, but again, when I was doing it with the barbell, it kind of opened world to me. My grab started getting more bigger when I was doing them on a barbell. And as you could see, my traps are kind of big, showing off through my shirt. And since I've lowered down the weight, I can hold it at the top for at least 1 second, 1 or 2 seconds, slowly letting the weight go. When you do it heavy, you pretty much are naturally doing them fast, but with the lower weight, you get to take your time with it, trying to grow up those big, meaty traps. That's one of the muscle groups that for me is able to grow quite easily, if I do say so myself. It's a cool muscle group to have. It helps you to bring out like neck thickness into your physique. And then doing these for the thighs. So this machine works out the outer thigh. Um this time I'm trying to do like 3 drop sets, trying to make sure that I'm doing 10 reps all the way and then dropping down by 10 pounds as I am doing this movement. So I would do basically 2 sets of 3 drop sets. So I'm going back to back to back when I am doing this type of movement, trying to make sure that I feel the burn on my quads as I am, trying to open the machine, like opening my legs. Other people have more flexibility. That's pretty much as far as I could open my legs, spread them out as such. And as you see, using the pin to decrease the weight after I do 10 reps, like as best as I can. Not trying to go too fast, but at the same time feeling the burn when I do it in that consistent motion. So yeah, this is good. Um, if the leg extension machine is unavailable, you could use this type of machine to develop your quads or your thighs. And then this is the other machine that works at the inner thighs. So these are pretty good. I like them because you do feel the burn. Like, yeah, leg extension machines are great, but doing each individual muscle group for the thigh, you feel more of that burn, you feel more of that soreness the next day or two. So trying to take my time with this. I'm not trying to go too heavy anymore. Trying to make sure that each one is a quality rep, and then decreasing the weight as I go, do after my 10. So I try to extend this as far as I can because again, I'm not as flexible. Um, but it's good to hold that at the top. Trying to go slow, trying to make sure that you are doing these, quality over quantity. So doing my 10 reps here, so this would be the second drop set, and then from here, um, more 10 reps. Even though I am decreasing the weight, I do feel the burn a little bit faster because I have pre-exhausted that muscle group when I'm doing these machine workouts, right? So trying to make sure that the spread is not as too much so that way I don't hurt myself, but at the same time I am able to make sure that I am closing the legs together and not stopping halfway because then it's like you're not doing anything. So those two machines together works out the entire thighs to make sure you do not have chicken legs, right? We don't want chicken legs in this channel, right? So you want to make sure you have an even balanced, a well balanced physique, right? All right, and then after some of these, we are going into leg press machine. So you only have 2 of these machines in the gym, and this does feel a little bit awkward for me only because I am short. They don't have that much of like I'm trying to pull the seat closer, but when I have to re-whack the weights, it's like I have to put my hip into it in the sense of trying to make sure that it locks in place correctly. Um, ideally, most of you guys are taller than me, so there should be no problem at all. You do want to make sure that your legs are touching your chest as close to it as possible. Um, so I used to do these 8, 9 plates on each side, but I feel like I would work out the glutes and the hamstrings a little bit more if I decrease the weight, go a little bit slower, and trying to make sure that I have my legs touch my chest or my stomach as close as possible. Trying to do these a little bit slower to make sure that I'm doing these correctly. So I'm doing this with 6 plates on each side. This is pretty well. It is fun and scary at the same time because you do get to tire out. But of course, be careful with those type of machines. Then we're doing the glute kickbacks. I feel like this is more comfortable than doing it with the cable machines, only because you have everything set up. This is good for your hamstrings and glutes. I am doing these on 50 pounds, 10 reps on each leg. Then I set it to 40 pounds on each leg. Um, Sometimes I realize that when I'm doing my legs, I do like I feel like my upper body is more dominant. So I'm trying to be mindful of doing a little, like adding at least one more set to my leg movements, just to make sure that, I have an even amount of muscle for the body groups. I'm trying to be mindful that I'm not upper body dominant, but it just comes naturally as a guy. There's other people who just like to do lower body emphasized movements as opposed to the upper body, but we're all trying to do the best we can, right? We're here to do, to level up better, level up consistently each day, right? 1% better every day. So these kickbacks are fun. Started using these more often because, people like using the leg press machine. So this is a good addition or replacement. No, I would say more of an addition for like key accessory movements. You do want to make sure that if your gym, they don't have the leg press, you have a hack squat machine of some sort, like just anything that would mimic a squat type of movement. All right. Well, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.